Hey everyone, welcome to the fifth episode of Kaylin's Lens. Thank you for joining me for today's episode where I dive into creating structure, creating routines, and mindset, and everything that has genuinely allowed me to become more structured, more fulfilled, and living my life on purpose and living my life for me and not for anybody else. And I just want to start by saying this takes time. The things that I'm about to share didn't happen overnight. They didn't, it's like I didn't implement one thing and then I was living by it every single day. It took time, it took consistency, and it took repetitive actions and habit building that allowed me to create the perfect morning routine for me that works, that allows me to get an early morning gym session in before a 40-minute commute to my 9 a.m., that allows me to do so much more with my life and have Sundays where I can go and explore uni because I structure my life in a way that allows me to create so much more that I didn't do last year. And going into my second year, it allows me to live by my true values and allows me to get applications in, allows me to just basically have so much more time in my life whilst remaining fit, whilst remaining healthy, whilst having a good diet and a moderate diet, should I say, and having that balance. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's about that balance in my diet. About that balance in my health. And I don't believe in a work-life balance. I'm going to start that off right now. I approached uni thinking I was going to go into a 9 to 5 this year, but second year is tough. Second year is hard work. I can't tell you if I've ever been a day where I've typically done a 9 till 5. I have literally been doing days where I start at 8 on my uni work and I will not finish until half 7. That is what my typical days look like. And I don't want to be conceited. It's tough, it's hard, but if that's not for you, that's not for you. I still have the time on the weekends where I still have to do a little bit of uni work here and there just before I go to work and whatever. But me doing these steps has allowed me to go to places and do so many more things. And I think the key is how you start your morning will literally determine how it runs your life. Structure gives me freedom. It's how I protect my peace and not lose it. And like I said, it didn't come overnight. It took trials and consistency, and it took learning to value my time as an act of self respect. So I really want you to think for the first step is what does your current routine actually look like? And what does it say about how much that you value yourself and your time? And so for me, my mornings are sacred. I'm going to start with mornings. Mornings are literally sacred. For me, they bring mental clarity, peace, and make better choices. You are in control before the world starts making demands. I start the day in isolation. I don't look at my phone for the first 20 to 30 minutes of the time that I'm up. I don't look at any notifications. I don't look at anything. The only thing I do is I go onto my iPad and I literally read the Financial Times. That is what I do for the first half an hour I wake up. I get up at 4:30. I get into my gym clothes. I have my breakfast. And whilst I'm eating my breakfast, I will read the Financial Times. Because A, that is me staying commercially aware, reading the news, keeping up to date on the budget or just things that are going to impact me in my life. But also, I'm not communicating with the outside world. I'm not engaging with anything on social media. I'm not being inundated and checking my emails and, seeing what if anybody's messaged me overnight. For me, that is the first half an hour of my life that in my day that I just get for myself. And it's me in my zone. And that quiet time is where I align my thoughts and set the tone for the day. Because for me, it allows me to just take control and breathe, allows me to get stuff done, get my breakfast, and then it allows me to come back and get ready to go to the gym and finish off getting ready and brushing my teeth and doing all the little things that you have to do. And so I really want you to think, how do your mornings actually make you feel? Are they rushed or are they reactive? Are they calm or are they intentional? And so I thought I would begin to share some elements of my morning routine with you that I've just briefly touched on, but really, really delve in. And so I wake up at 4:30 every single morning. It's a non negotiable for me. There are some mornings, and I will be honest, that like on a Saturday, if I'm not going to the gym because that's my rest day, I won't wake up at half four and I'll wake up at half five. But most mornings, 99% of them is a half four wake up. Like I said, no phone for 15 to 20 minutes. It gives my mind to just wake up naturally. None of the blue light rays that are coming from the phone. And I get a breakfast. I get a lot of fruits because anyone that knows me knows that I love my bananas, I love my apples, I love my toast. Toast has always been a part of my life, and it's the one thing that I know is super ultra processed. But I have changed recently from white to brown, so don't come at me. Okay, do not come at me. This journey for the past 6 months has gone through that change. I am now like a brown bread through and through. Don't really taste much of a difference, and it's healthier, so much more fiber. So I'll have my toast with those two little bits of fruit, and it's my fuel that basically starts me off, energizes me. Then I'll go to the gym. And I love to get in a good hour to an hour and 15-minute workout in the morning. Like it's little bits, it's little things that I do. It's like it doesn't need to be a 2 hour workout, it's an hour and 15. And I'll get onto the treadmill, I'll do my thing, go on the rowing machine. And then I'll usually do, depending on the day, it'll either be a leg day or a back and biceps or a tri shoulders and chest. And I'll do one of those 3 days. Basically, it's just like follows a pattern, and I just change up the days as and when my body probably will become accustomed to it. But I am looking to change my entire routine. But that's not the point. That's another point. And then I get back, and it's usually about 6:30 that I get back. And what I do is once I get back, I go for a shower because I don't really want to be going stinking. And I will do my skincare when I come out of the shower. I'll do my skin, do my hair, which I did have a haircut from last week, guys, but I don't really know the difference. I cannot lie to you. I did go for a low taper fade, so let me know if anyone has any tips on how to actually make hair frizzy because it's just not vibing. It's just not hitting. That's not the point. Then I'll do all that. I'll take my supplements and I'll have another banana, apple, and a protein yogurt. I know the yogurt's ultra processed, but it's my way of getting 25 grams of protein in without having to cook eggs in the morning at half four and wake up my flatmates with a stinking burning smell because I cannot do fried eggs to save my life anymore. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm at uni, but it's just not happening. It's just not hitting. It's not getting the vibe. It's just not hitting the agenda. So yeah, I'll have that. But still, 25 grams is fine, so ultra processed, but that's not the point I'm getting at. And then I'll have my supplements, which is a vitamin D because I'm inside a lot, so I don't really get a lot of sunlight. And I will have my omega 3 because it really, really helps my brain and helps health of my heart. And so I really, really make sure to prioritize those two supplements. And then I will typically start my work about 7:45. It's the first time I'll read my emails, check in with whatever's happened over the past day, the evening, and respond to anyone that needs to be responded to. Check my personal, and I'll check my um uni one, and then I'll check my timetable that I've planned, and I will literally just see everything, see what I need to get done for that day. And I typically will then start by about 8 a.m. And for me, that is a really, really ready, grounded, and clear way to start my day. Having that structure allows me to get a good workout in, allows me to get a shower, get and feel healthy and have nutritious foods and, have that balance between ultra and no processed foods whatsoever. And it just gives me a mental reset every single day. Even if I'm tired, I come out of it and I feel exhilarated with more energy, more passion, and more desire to get shit done. And I think if I didn't have that, I don't know how I would be functioning. I honestly don't. I think it just gives me that mental clarity and that time to myself because I don't really get a lot of time to myself because I'm inundated with it. I'm doing emails or I'm at uni and I'm in a lecture or I'm in a tutorial and I'm with friends. Like I don't really get that time to just breathe and be in myself. So for me, it just gives me that balance. It gives me that time that I take back for me. And so, what is one small habit that you could add to tomorrow morning that would make your day start with more intention? And I think that's key. It's the intention. It's what could you do that is going to make you feel more like you, make you embrace who you are, make you be you. That's all it is. So you need to think, what is that one small habit that you could add and build upon over time? And I think I really want to get into is like everyone talks to me is like, well, how have you built this routine? What has it done? And for me, reading Atomic Habits changed my life and learning about how habits actually work. And it's starting small. Having a habit that is either one habit or two habits and building upon those. But you've got to be realistic and you can't try to do everything at once. I did that and everything failed. It didn't work. I wasn't able to keep up. I wasn't able to fulfill it. I wasn't able to keep that continuous grind. And I had to start small. I had to make small changes. Whether that be I started waking up at 7 and then I started waking up at 6:45 and then 6:30 and then 6:15 and 6 and then 5 and then half 4. Taking those steps allowed me to build upon that one habit I wanted to create because small habits compound over time. And what I've learned from Emma Gled is habit stacking, where you pair habits together. So for me, that will be having my breakfast and reading the Financial Times. Having my breakfast, reading the Financial Times, doing my washing up. Having my breakfast, reading the Financial Times, doing my washing up, and then brushing my teeth. Doing all of those things has allowed me to create a morning routine that I'm happy about, has allowed me to then, once I've brushed my teeth, walk to the gym, go to the gym, do my workout, come back and have a shower. And it's very regimented, I know, but it allows me to create discipline and it allows me to create space to grow physically, grow mentally, and grow emotionally. And I don't want to like kid you, having a routine isn't a restriction. It's kind of freedom in disguise because you're having the ability to get in a good morning workout. For me, of course, that's what I've always aspired for. I was the kid that hated PE. Growing up, it was never my thing. Everyone knew that I hated it. I was always picked last, which I really think did not help my confidence at all, whether that be by the teachers or whether that be by my peers. I just didn't enjoy it. I was so academic and it just wasn't me. PE just wasn't in my equilibrium, should I say. Me building a routine that I'm actually proud of, like for me saying that, okay, I go to the gym. Like that's just anything that I will talk about. But I'm not like one of those, oh my God, I want to get super big, I want to get super tough. Yeah. No. I'm just like I go for the mental side. I go to have that clarity in that space and that peace. Like I'm not there to build muscle and grow muscle. Like, yeah, my workouts are lifting weights and on the treadmill. But no, it's more than that. It's more the mental side. And that gives me the freedom because it gives me the freedom of clarity. It gives me the freedom to function well. It gives me the confidence to be like, I feel happy with who I am and I feel happy with how I look. And I think it's not hard to be conceded that it takes time. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And so I want you to really think like, what is one habit that you're actually doing now that I feel like you could just stack onto something else that you already do every single day? What is one thing you could incorporate that you really wanted to incorporate for such a long time? What is that thing? And stack it to something else. Add it to something else. Because without doing that, it's not going to create your morning routine that you really want. It's not going to give you that clarity because you're going to be like, oh, well, I didn't get a workout in. I'll do it another day. I'll do it another day. And that's bullshit because you're bullshitting yourself and saying to yourself, oh my God, I'm going to do it another day when you're actually just not going to do it. That's the reality. That's how it is. And I've already really covered it in a way, but I really want to delve into like how it's actually changed me. And I know this podcast is more like my lens, so come at me for really just speaking about myself because yeah, like I will. But like I said, I'm literally more grounded, I'm more focused, I'm calm, which this podcast does not seem calm whatsoever. I feel like I'm chaotic mess in this episode. But yeah, like I'm more calm in how I approach things. I take a more deeper dive and a more lucrative, thorough approach to any problem that I'm faced now. I'm more productive, which is crazy. Like I have time now to spend my Sundays going to different places in London. I have the time now where I can listen and watch an episode and not feel stressed that I'm missing out. I can listen to a podcast and not feel scared that oh my God, I'm listening to this podcast. It's taking away so much time of my uni work. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do it. That type of thinking. And I know I just said that without moving. That is crazy. That's not the point. But, like it just allows me to do the things I want to do and gives me so much more time. But it also gave me confidence because I was never this confident. I never, ever, ever for 3 years of my life posted photos on Instagram, posted anything. I was like silent because I was so scared of everyone's thoughts. And it completely changed me. I became more confident because I trusted my discipline. I trusted everything I was doing. And it gave me light. It gave me hope. It gave me happiness. And my life feels more like it's in flow. Like I have so much less chaos. I don't have drama, which is I think I was craving at one point, which is crazy because I'm like, now I don't live for it. Now I don't care about it. Now I don't want it. I'm not bothered about having a social life that has to have all this drama. Like I have friends and I have acquaintances, but it's like my circle is very minuscule. And because it's minuscule as well, like I just don't need the drama. And so, where in your life do you actually feel that you're most out of control? That is a lot that is leading to you making those decisions of craving those things that you want. And how could structure bring you peace? And so, I really covered about what I do in the morning, but now I really want to talk about like what I do actually like during the day. Literally, in between lectures, I will go to the library. I will literally get my work done, and I use the Pomodoro technique. So I'll do 25 minutes of deep work, and I'll have a 5 minute break. And taking those two steps, going to the library, I'm locked in. There's people around me that are educating, that are doing their work too. So it kind of fuels me, kind of gives me passion instead of coming back to my room, which is like a 40-minute trek. So I am not doing that whatsoever. And that would be so much more expensive. But also gives me that time to just lock in deep and do a lot of work in those 25 minutes. And I get readings done so much quicker now because of it. And then I have that 5 minute break to check my phone if anyone's messaged me, have a quick scroll on the news because I don't really know why, but the news is literally low key buzzing for me. I don't know why I get such a hit from it. Or, I'll check social media and that just gives me that time because those short breaks just act as a rest, a break point through a deep dive of reading on a certain legal topic like causation and thin school rule or, omissions and anything to do with actus reus and criminal law, for example. And so having that ability to just create a pattern and discipline and not go on my phone allows me to live my life with more focus because I communicate my boundaries. Like my friends know it. My friends know my rhythm and they respect it. And so for me, they'll know that if I am busy, like they will get that message. They'll get that response within the same day because communication is a form of respect. And if you respect the person that you're messaging, they're going to give it back to you. They're going to give it back. And my friends know that. They know that if I am on a busy day and I have a busy schedule, they know that they'll get a quick message within one of my 5 minute breaks. Structure is my peace and it's not my prison. And it allows me to just grow. It allows me to get my shit done, but it also allows me to interact and still speak to my friends. And so that for me is like everything to me. And another part that I really want to make clear is during the day as well, I do listen to one podcast a day. That is a non negotiable because continuous learning fuels growth. And without growth, where are you in life? I realized from like the very best that they love to learn, they love continuously learning. And one area that I never really like learned about during school was like business and psychology. And so were the two areas that I really focused on and what I listened to. And when I'm listening to them, I learn and I grow so much about both subjects, how the mind works and how businesses operate and what businesses do, and how to be a successful businessman and an entrepreneur. And so for me, having that day structure, having those day patterns and boundaries and things that I do during the day has allowed me to live my life authentically, but also give that time and that comfort to my friends and my family. It's like I now have that time where on a Tuesday, I will always ring my mum, it feels in the morning for like before she goes to work. And that is how I create that space and that spirit of life. And I think for me, it's having that respect and that mutual understanding from my friends and creating a boundary. because I didn't have boundaries in first year and it showed and it ruined friendships. This year, I created boundaries and I felt like I've grown and had so many more deeper conversations with people because of that entire structure. Having that morning to myself, having that Pomodoro technique when I'm at work, when I'm in work, locked in the library, when I don't leave campus, whilst I listen to a podcast, all of those things give me clarity. And I think having clarity is everything. And having the right people creates happiness in ways that you could never, ever experience. So having that balance and boundary is how to create passion, I think. Anyway, that's how it creates passion within me because I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it that I then can give back to my friends and I can give them my full attention when I'm with them and not distracted by my phone. And so having the right people is everything. And so, do those people actually respect your boundaries or do they not? And they have no respect for you. And so, lastly, I kind of want to delve into this whole finishing off my day, which I feel like everyone's like, well, you've just spoken about two routines, two structures that you already have. You can't have a third. I'm like, I have a third. And this is how I live my life and religiously, Bible, like how I want to. Because I'm such a homebody by heart. I'm such a homebody by nature. Like, I don't really like to go out to the clubs. I never go clubbing. I've never been since like February time. I don't really like to go out often if unless it's going to actually allow me to grow or if my friends want to go to some place and it's like a nice cute meal or restaurant, I'm like, it's just not going to fuel me. I would much rather save my energy for the next day. I don't really want to do it if it's not for me. And I don't want to people please, so I won't do it. So a lot of my morning evenings are spent in. But what I do is everything. I would always, always, always prioritize cooking a healthy meal for starters when I walk in, which will typically be about 4:30, depending on my day. Sometimes it's earlier, so I'll finish off some work. But around 4:30, 5:30, I'll start cooking dinner. And I love to create with ingredients, nice meals like a mince and pasta. So I'm getting my protein with the 5% fat, but I'm getting some carbs with pasta, which I know is ultra processed, but that's the balance. Having my peppers and having my onions and having my mushrooms and having my spices, like that recipe that got from my dad, like, you know, having that ability to just create a meal, gives me so much more happiness. Having something that I've made and it's not processed and it's not come out of the packaging is everything. So I will always, always prioritize doing that and creating another meal so it saves time on another day that I can then prioritize my other dreams and my other goals and my other things going on in my life. And it usually hits around 6. And if I don't have anything I really and particularly want to watch, I will listen to another podcast. And whether that be Emma Gred's episode on Tuesdays, or an On Purpose with Jay Shetty, or Mel Robbins, or Diary of a CEO, or Nisha Shah, or Big Deal with Cody Sanchez, or Aware and Aggravated, like I'll listen to a podcast because it allows me to grow, like I've said, but it also gives me that clarity and that time to just be in my zone. And I feel so much more accomplished after listening to them. And then it usually hits around 7:30. And at 7:30, I will choose my outfit for the next day. I will take a magnesium supplement. I will prepare my lunch. So I usually have the same lunch. So I'll make that. So it saves me two stresses. One, that I haven't got to make an outfit. Two, that I haven't got to prepare a lunch. And three, I have my supplement, so I'm getting that energy. So it just, life feels more accomplished and life feels less stressed that way. And what I'll do is I'll go for another shower, 8 o'clock roughly, and then I'll come back. I'll do my skincare routine. You know, I usually do a plank. Don't ask why I do a plank for 3 minutes, just happens. And then it usually hits around 8:30. Sometimes it can be off because certain things happen. And when it hits 8:30, that is the last time I'll check my phone. I'll just check if anyone's messaged me, anything urgent's going on in the world, any last few little different things, that I want to check. And then I put my phone on charge and that's it. I don't go on my phone for the final 30 minutes because I hate the blue light rays that you can get. They are so crazy. Like, you really need to be paying attention to that because that can really distort your sleep. And it like when I don't do that, I don't wake up during the night. I have my supplement and I don't wake up alongside with not having the blue light. And then in that final 30 minutes, I will read. I will simply just read a book. At the minute, I am reading this one, The Psychology of Money, which, if I could tell you anything, you have to read it if you want to learn so much about money and how little bits over time compound. Like I explored in last week's episode, a lot of the lessons from that episode basically came from this book, and it's everything. So I'm really, really like so close to finishing it now. But if I could tell anybody at any point, you have to read The Psychology of Money. It is absolutely like golden. So at the minute, that's what I'll be reading for half an hour, and it feeds my mind before I sleep. I'm not having the blue light rays, nothing's going on. I'm not checking my phone. I'm just relaxed in my zone. And then it usually hits about 9 and I'll go to bed. And that is literally everything. That is my perfect evening routine. Oh, and I almost forgot. After I've come out the shower, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's a bit weird, but I would do red light therapy, which people probably don't really know much about, but it's where you put the red light mask on your face just to, get the more vitamin D and get the health benefits. So I'll do that 3 times a week, and that is everything. And so please, please, please make sure to invest within yourself. Take the time to incorporate habits and build upon them because habits can take 66 days before they become a ritual, before they become your life. And what is one promise that you will keep to yourself this week that you could never, ever have kept to yourself before? And so, thank you for joining me on today's episode. I really, really hope you learned, felt encouraged, or felt inclined to be like, oh my God, I see someone like me that's living their uni experience like I am, because I never had that last year. And so now I hope that you have that voice and that person that is you, that sees you for you. And just remember that the best investment you can make is in yourself.